G'day everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a message from your future self to you now. I know it's a little cliche, everybody does it, but here we are. Okay, so just choose the card that grabs your attention the most and I'll see you in a little while. Hello Pile 1, welcome back. So if you picked this card, the Small Medicine Wheel, this is the message that your future self has for you now. So your future self wants you to know that during this particularly trying time, which I believe it is through the other card that I've pulled out, you are going to be protected. So this is the white eagle, and as you can see, the expansive wings cover the entire cycle of up and down, which is life. So your innocence or the original faith that you had in life is going to be protected, even though this is kind of like an trying time for you. You will get the answers that you are seeking, and in the future, doorways will open for you to walk through. And why I say it is a trying time, because I pulled out another accompanying card so I can understand the main theme of what I'm reading. So the animal spirit card that came out was the lizard. And let me just read this. Regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. So from these two cards, I can surmise that things have been challenging, and this challenge is forcing you to basically undergo a metamorphosis of some sort so you can come out as a butterfly, even though we've got a cute little lizard here. Okay, so let's see what the base storyline is. So what I want to get from today's reading is basically a quick snapshot of the situation that you're currently stuck in and how things will change for you, because your future self is telling you that you'll be protected. Okay, so we've got Two of Swords here. Now let's just check where this Two of Swords is. In what area of your life can't you make up a decision on? Okay, so what is Pile 1 going through right now? And how are they going to be protected? Okay, so Pile 1, what are they going through and how are they going to be protected? All right, let's see. Oh, okay. Real life stuff. Oh, it has been a struggle for quite some time, okay? So you have been going through this for quite some time. Okay, so this is going to either connect with family or your work, but something which is very real. So this is not an internal thinking process. This is something outward that is causing you to make a decision. And right now you're in a little bit of a pickle because you don't know which way to go. It seems as though there's only two options, but as we all know, when you have when you have to choose from two choices, the answer is always the third option. So at the background, what we can see here is that there is incoming waves. Yeah, at this stage, maybe you do feel a little overwhelmed. Okay, but let's see. Oh, okay, so this is starting. Oh, another two. Okay. Maybe we can even fit another one here. Yeah, we can. Oh, you got the Fountain card. This is great. Absolutely great. Okay, we'll put it up here. Oh, this did come out in reverse. Sorry, this deck does take reversals, I think. Okay. Oh, page. We need a message. We need to get a message. Okay. Okay. So currently, the situation that is binding you is there's a difficulty in making a decision. And the difficulty arises because the emotional aspects of the equation is coming in quite strong, whereas the logical side or the light side is hazy. So the difficulty rests maybe in attachment to a situation or to a person that is involved in this situation. So it's making deciding difficult. But if you take a look at it, they're roughly the same size, which means either solution that you choose right now at this particular stage should be pretty much balanced. The outcome would result in something which is pretty balanced if you weren't emotionally attached to a particular outcome. The two choices that you have would result in pretty much the same thing. What this situation looks like is a project or something that you've undertaken in which growth was had, right? So it looks successful. So things are working well together. Duties were delegated well. But there's something that is causing disharmony because this energy rightfully, I mean, it looks like a project in which money could be made. And so, like I said before, this card came out in the area in which it's a very material thing that you are having like a situation with. Okay, so the conundrum isn't anything spiritual or like yeah, it's not like a woo-woo issue. It's a very tangible material thing that is causing disharmony. It looks like money, it's profitable, and so things are growing and there is abundance, or there is future possibilities that are quite good with this particular thing that you're undertaking. But for some reason you're not getting along well with the other players, because if you take a look at this, Three of Coins is up, which means you found the right people, you've connected, the project's going, but suddenly you feel maybe somewhat humiliated, you feel things are unjust, you feel as though you're the odd one out. And this is because there's maybe it's an interpersonal thing, like interpersonal relationships are not harmonizing well because the professional aspects and the emotional aspects which attach to this professional work project are not in sync. And this is leaving you to feel as though you don't belong. During this phase, when the project is growing and success is visible, on the front, there is some sort of feeling that you are getting. Your intuition is telling you that something needs to end here. One aspect of the way things are working has to finish because it's causing you a lot of stress, or it's causing others in the group a lot of stress. It's not a happy finalization, but it's a necessary one. The next, the choice that you make, so maybe there are two viable options at this stage. The possibility is huge because this allows you to start all over again. So this, the Fountain card, actually matches well with this Lizard card of regeneration, because the Fountain is oneness. So this is going back to the origin, the Big Bang, the starting point, beginning again. And here it says, as a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. So if you do decide to start all over again, you're questioning in what way. And it seems at this stage, because what is at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups, which means I need to draw a message. I forgot about that. But if you take a look at this child, right, she's clearly fascinated by this object. I mean, it looks quite ordinary. It just looks like a cup, but like a bling bling cup, right? Looks kind of fancy cup. But she's not only enamored with the monetary or the value aspects of it. It seems as though she's basically fixated on maybe why it's there. Like, it takes on an ethereal glow, but not because the object in itself is special. It's because her curiosity has been sparked. So I think for you, this particular phase, this situation that you are embroiled in has actually given birth to something else that is maybe a sense of wonder, curiosity, childlike innocence, which is this little guy down here in the Wheel of Fortune. So after you establish innocence, the knowledge will come, because the bear in the west side represents the answers. So the answer is going to come if you play around with something. Okay, let's see if we can get a message, because that's what the pages. Okay, pages give messages. Rewards. You are cashing in on all the good work you've done. Raises, bonuses, and prosperity are coming in. Keep going and keep growing. Yeah, so it matches what this card was in. It was in the, monetary or material zone. So I think by having curiosity, but now we're talking about adult themes of money here. Put on a new cloak, you're a master of regeneration, and there's curiosity as a child. Maybe here you're going to start looking into maybe different investment strategies or investment plans that can actually not only benefit this project, but they're real innovative ways for you to come into financial prosperity that's going to be good for you yourself personally, because you're starting all over again, and everything here seems to be reconnecting with innocence, which means starting over again with something that is giving you curiosity. So I think if right now things are not working well with your current engagement, and now you're thinking about two options, what should you do? I think, like I said before, take the third option. Hold on to this current job or project that you are in and do a side hustle, because and do something that genuinely brings joy, because even if it doesn't seem significant to other people, it should elicit joy within yourself, because like I said before, it looks like an ordinary cup, but she's fascinated with it. So you need to be fascinated with something, and that thing will bring its rewards. And I think this is actually just a branch from what you are doing here anyway, but it's just that no one is seeing it at the moment. And because you're undergoing so much growth, this nagging intuition to get you to look in another direction has already been the undercurrent during the growth of this project. And maybe you're seeing something that others are not, and hence you feel this ostracization in which you feel left out because nobody else is seeing it, but you're seeing it. Wow, this looks pretty cool actually. Okay, so I think the message from your future self is you're protected. This thing that you're thinking about right now, do it. Do it as a side hustle. Even if you can't get others on board, do it as a side hustle. I think your future self is telling you you're gonna ace this one. Like, going by your own intuition, you really will get something good at the end. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, and I hope this made sense. And if it did, please leave a comment down below. And I would appreciate it if you liked and commented, because I am a new channel and I'm trying to grow, and it's really, really difficult. I mean, I've been doing astrology, I've got astrology clients, but I really do want to expand out and, you know, like talk to more people for one, and get in touch with people who do enjoy like divination. So yep, any little thing, just a like is appreciated. Okay, bye. Welcome back, pile 2. So if you chose this card, what your future self wants you to know is this. Okay, so currently what it looks like is that emotions are blocked because there's very little water here, and all the pottery, everything here is either chipped or it has some sort of blemish. Okay, so things cannot be washed clean. The sky is also kind of dark. So whatever kind of conundrum that you are in, whatever quandary, it's got you really stuck at the moment. Maybe there is some level of depression of some sort. Generally, you're not a happy camper at this stage. Okay, so this is maybe like a warning card. So your future self maybe is trying to tell you, be careful of this happening, a possibility of this happening. I've paired this main card with a spirit animal card, and the card that dropped out with this is the bull elk. So let me just read this for you. Nobility. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. Your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. Okay, so we've got this energy underlying this one. Now, what this tells me is generally you're a fighter. You're very, very strong, because we know that bull elks generally are very strong. Okay, so they fight with their antlers and they're very territorial. They're actually really, you know, like a boys boy type of club dynamic thing going here. And it doesn't have to necessarily be like in particular to the males. I mean, you could be a very girl thing as well. Like, but what it means is that the same sex grouping, there's a very tight-knit bond with that. The only exception is during mating season. Apparently that friendship group breaks apart because everybody is vying for the female's attention, and so it's each for their own. So I think it is just upon impression, maybe this could be a situation where longing for a partner or desiring one, even though your initial group was very tight-knit. Maybe everybody's partnered off, and now you're left at a situation where you feel like a little bit like, I don't know what to do. Like, do I join a dating app, or do I continue with this single life and party on? And maybe it could be that, but I'm not sure. This is just a first impression. Okay, but let's check what our cards tell us, and then we'll get a concrete message from your future self. But it does seem as though this is kind of like a red flag or warning card to tell you, be careful of how you're processing emotions right now, because in the future you could feel somewhat stuck. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we are the Star, but reversed. Okay, so now let's find where you are, in what area. The reversed Star. Okay, let's see in what area in your life. This looks possibly like friendship, relationships are my first impression, but we don't really know until we check carefully. Okay, so where is your reversed Star? Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. It is a personal thing that you are going through. Okay. Let's see what the story is before we decide on a concrete message. Oh, that's a lovely pole dancer. That's a pole move. I actually had a friend who was a pole dancer. She was wonderful. She was a barrel of laughs. But I haven't kept in contact with her, so don't know what's going on. Oh. Money, money, money. Okay. Oh, and this is my cup of tea. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh. What's at the bottom? Okay. Lovely. Okay. So your future self is giving you maybe a heads up on self-pity. It's asking you to don't dwell on things that are out of your control. Okay, so this kind of pole dancer, of course, in her element, she's definitely in control. Okay, it looks like a pole dancer, I'm sure she's not, but if you turn the card around, maybe the blood is rushing to her head and she's not able to think clearly. And when you don't think clearly, you magnify problems. So actually, I saw something really interesting back a while ago. I saw a fight between an elk and a grizzly bear. Have you guys seen that? Maybe you guys have seen it too. And usually the bull elk is very strong. It's strong against the same competitor like another bull elk. But surprisingly, it made a fatal move. So the elk is really strong on land. It's an earth creature. But on that particular day, maybe it was the elk's destiny. It wasn't thinking straight. And when it was chased by the bear, it ran in the riverbed, or in a body of water anyway, without maybe thinking or understanding that the bear is in its element when it's in water. So that decision proved fatal for the elk. Stagnation, 8 of water. There's not much water there. So, okay. I'm thinking of things here, but not clear yet. Okay, so self-pity, you have to monitor that because that can actually overwhelm you and cause you to drop further down into depression, depressive states. It seems as though recently things have turned up well because you've started something which is generating income or financial stability, and you're managing that quite well. And I think you're feeling overwhelmed. Now, this could relate to another part of your life that's not really current, but you're fearing something. Maybe you are scared to lose what you have right now. And this fear is generating unnecessary anxiety. You know how when you've got nothing and you're not afraid to try because you've got nothing to lose? And then when you start accumulating stuff, you have this sense of paranoia or fear that it can be taken away from you. And I think this is kind of playing that out in quite a magnified way that is causing distress or stagnation. So maybe you are amplifying a fear of lack. You are doing something about it. So that's a good thing. I think you're actively trying to create it. And this is why this Elk card came. Celebrate your accomplishments with humility. You are crowned with success. Powerful forces guide you. So this force, maybe it's your own inner voice that is guiding you out of this mentality of lack or of fear. And you have found new inspiration. And I think maybe that's because you've reconnected with someone from the past recently. It could be like a former BFF that you didn't have a falling out, but maybe you just somehow lost contact and then it became estranged. So then you lost further contact because it kind of felt awkward. Like I had this with one of my friends. We were best friends in primary school, but then we went to different high schools. And then when we reached university, we felt as though the other one was like, we knew that there was a prior relationship to the adult version when we went to uni, but we couldn't rekindle that childhood friendship that we used to have. So there's this awkward gap in between where we experienced puberty that we weren't really together for that part, the rite of passage that we all go through. So then when we became adults in university, we kind of felt lost. And I think so this new inspiration is rekindled by somebody from the past. So it could be a childhood best friend, but it could be a family member who you just haven't contacted in a while, like a cousin or an aunt or uncle that has given you some sort of new idea or said something that was quite profound or poignant, and it got you out of this particular funk. So right now, it seems as though you are ready to leave something behind. My guess is this anxiety or fear that things will be taken from you, that's going to finish. This thinking process that you used to have is ending. And I think this is only a cautionary note then. Your future self is just saying, please don't have self-pity because your current situation is actually quite good. So you're progressing and you're doing what you're supposed to do. So if you dwell on the past where you used to have genuine fear, it's going to pull you down and you'll be paralyzed by that if you don't actively self-correct this kind of like spiral, like downward spiral thinking. So you will get out of it, as in this kind of thinking process will finish looking back. And what's recharging the new paradigm in your life is going to be completely different, because instead of worrying about what you have built up and will lose, you're going to change your focus if you take a look at this guy, right, he's meticulously trying to arrange a particular formation, like a cubic formation with different parts of, you know, tree branches, and I don't know what these things are, but, you know, maybe like a, looks like a weird cork of some sort, but, and his attention is focused on perfecting this. Like it's the last part to go in, but everything else needs to have been put in correctly in order for this piece to fit, because everything is measured out perfectly. So the attention to artistic integrity or to doing something really well will transcend the fear of having something taken away, where maybe it was imposter syndrome that you felt that got you to this particular phase of security. You're genuinely going to be so good at something, or you're going to channel your energy into doing something so well that that fear would vanish. Like you will never fear losing something simply because you feel as though you were just faking it. So there's no more, like you will perfect something that's going to give you emotional security. So yeah, I think your future self is just telling you, don't overthink things. You got this one, because you're going to change your life focus, and with that you're going to have genuine security. It's not just about the money. It is about the safety that you nurture as a child, when you did have somebody in your life that you thought is going to walk the journey of life together with you, or a parental or guardian figure that was always going to protect you or have the answers for you. So you're going to have that security, but you're going to embody that element within yourself by simply developing a skill to the level of a master. Okay, so I hope this made sense, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, don't be too tied down with complex thoughts, okay? So keep your chin up, sunshine. Bye. Welcome back, Pile 3. So if you chose this card, your future self wants to remind you to stay true to yourself. Oops, just rubbed my elbows on my table. Okay, so this clown card is akin to the Fool card. The Fool is a new beginning, and a new beginning that is done with no preconceived notions, no prejudice. And in this case, being brave enough to actually front up exactly as you want to be seen, and not hide yourself behind something else, because what's guiding you is the fox spirit. So the fox is traditionally known as the trickster, and the trickster fox has the ability to appear in many different guises. So even though this outfit would look kind of eccentric and exotic, but what belies this, the exterior, is something more profound and something more deep. So having enough confidence to truly be yourself is the first step towards enlightenment, where you don't cast judgments on others or yourself, basically, because you don't want to put yourself in a box. No pigeonholing. Okay, so I accompanied this initial theme with a spirit animal card, and the card that came out for this particular card was the grizzly bear. So power. So let me just read this blurb. I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. Give up? I never give up. I will succeed. So this, your future self, is basically telling you to honor yourself. You are obviously heading for something new, and it is a wise decision, because whatever it is that you were doing prior has reached a point of saturation. You couldn't really grow from that experience anymore. but you have accrued a lot of knowledge or wisdom from that past experience, which you will take with you. However, that experience that recently you completed has also given you confidence to be who yourself in this next phase in your life. Okay, so that's my first impression of what your future self wants you to know. That you should have the courage to pursue a new path. Okay, now, however, let's check with the tarot to make sure I don't leave anything out. So the very first thing is summarize the situation leading to this fresh start, and also some advice. Any advice would be appreciated. Okay, so let's check the background of, oh, okay, so 2 cards fell out, Temperance and Sun. Okay, all right, well, in this case, since the Temperance came out first, let's see in which area in your life. But we'll put the Sun here because this is a good starter card. Now, let's see. In which area is Temperance cautioned for? Okay. Oops. Oh, okay. So many flyers, but we already got the Temperance card, so let's just keep going. Maybe I just had dinner. I just had dinner actually, so maybe that's why I'm kind of like jittery, because maybe this is the glucose thing kicking in. Okay, so let's see, where is Temperance first, so I can gauge kind of which area in your life this is related to. Okay, Temperance. Where are you, my dear Temperance? Nope. Let's see. Third part. No, okay. Like pile 2. It is either money or work. Real life. Yeah, okay. It is. Okay. So money or work or family, something very real, something that's visibly seen. Okay, so new direction, indestructible, go where? Okay, I've got the Sun card. Okay, all right, so let's check the story. Let's check the story. What is this all about? Why is your future self telling you to go forth with a new direction? I had a really great dinner actually. I'm vegetarian, by the way, so I made a lot of yummies, my usual yummies. I had noodles, lots of veggies. Oh, there we go. Oh, a match. Oh, okay. Now, what's at the bottom? The Queen of Swords. Okay, let's put that here. Okay. Okay, so what we can see here from the initial advice of starting something new, it looks like a cycle has ended. It's very likely that you had finished some sort of training or apprenticeship program or under the tutelage of someone or an institution. Maybe you've just graduated from something, and you've already begun to start growing your own, maybe savings or your own company or something. You've graduated from something and you're utilizing the knowledge that you've acquired from the studies or from the institution, and things are going quite well. You're beginning to see some results, but it hasn't reached completion yet, and there is an expectation that this will bring you a lot of joy. However, what you have found yourself is you're battling something, and it seems as though you feel that even if you win in this particular instance, it's going to be a Pyrrhic victory. You lose as much as you gain. There's a lot of soul searching going on inside, because now you're trying to find the truth or something that you can use for yourself that you feel good in using. It seems as though whatever you are growing here, after you have learnt that particular skill, is met with a lot of competition. And sometimes in order to get ahead, not everything is done above board. So if you take a look, he's balancing on two swords. It's a very precarious position, and he's taken everything and the other two have nothing. But this cannot possibly sustain, because it's not very secure, because he's walking on pointed swords. So there's something here that feels kind of out of kilter. Maybe the industry, maybe the industry that you've entered into is too combative and too competitive that you feel compelled to use those tricks up your sleeves, and you're not really comfortable doing that. Hence, there's the desire that you're seriously thinking about walking away, because it doesn't sit well with your own personal philosophy. What you've always wanted is results which make you happy. But now you're torn between seeing the beginnings and of the seeds that you've planted. You're seeing growth. However, because of the competitive nature of the industry that you have gone into, it's very difficult to find the joy that you originally thought the success would bring you. So now you're basically tossing and turning over what these things even mean. So this is why you've gone searching basically on a solo journey, whereas everybody else around you wants to give you, you know, like a round of applause, and then they want you to celebrate. They're asking you, so when's the next party? When's the next party? But you don't want to do that. You actually want to go within, because you don't know if this situation actually, you don't know if you can keep yourself in this situation for very much longer. So your mood is constantly being balanced. You have to constantly tweak things, make adjustments to convince yourself that this situation is the situation that you want to be in, but it's getting harder and harder. So now in your life, you're trying to find ways in which you can see the positive aspects again. And so when you attempt to make this transition, crossing from over from deciding whether you want to keep doing this, or the way that things are structured is too much for you, you're trying to look for alternative solutions. And every time you hit a very clear patch which you think is a great solution or an alternative idea, it seems as though there's some opaque piece of information that is preventing you from seeing things clearly. There's opaqueness. Can you see this? So all the colors are really vivid here, and then there's another sheet of opaque things which kind of distort and color. So to distort the color. So the way that you're wanting to do things, you're constantly torn between, I suppose, the highly successful, but then the highly stressful, competitive or combative atmosphere that you'll need to engage in order to see the 7 of coins turn into basically 9 of coins, where you achieve great success. And even if you achieve 9 of coins, you're probably left alone. So at this stage, you want a new beginning. So this is what this card for. This card and this clown card, I mean, they're from separate decks, but they mirror each other. So this is leaving the past behind, because you can no longer absorb anything from that experience or that situation, and you're leaving for like a different a destination. So you are leaving something, a situation behind. It looks like you'll have somebody accompanying you though, either spiritually, or somebody is probably willing to walk away with you. But yeah, it's for a long time now you've had to play kind of this character where your natural warmth is hidden. So you've had to exercise tenacity and logic, and because maybe it's a very, like I said before, competitive atmosphere, the side of you that is very maybe friendly, nurturing, lovable had to be concealed under a mask of being somebody who's a warrior type figure, somebody who is very sharp, astute, because you needed that skill to grow and survive. So your future self, the advice looks like you've always got to live your life in the most authentic way that you can. And even if it doesn't line with what your quote-unquote world demands of you, you still must walk your natural path, because you are capable of switching. Like I said, this fox is a trickster character. So if you wanted to wear this mask, you could do it very convincingly. There's nobody who's going to poke holes through it and say, oh, okay, you don't actually belong here, or you're not playing the game well. People think you actually do belong. They think that you are doing very well, that you understand the rules. However, inside yourself, you feel as though things are not like aligning with your own core philosophy. And hence something which is, after successfully completing something and then starting the process, seeing results, and then people expecting you to be happy, but instead of being happy, you want to close things off. This imbalance derives from the fact that internally these two things are not meeting. So your success is not met with the emotional plane of what success means to you. And this grizzly bear is clearly telling you that don't worry about it. You are indestructible. So honor my intention and go where it leads. I think because you're a clever person, the Queen of Swords is generally somebody who's amazingly switched on. You actually know what to do deep down inside. It's just the execution. You're just afraid to actually pull the trigger and make the move. And I think the future you is actually saying, prioritizing your own happiness and mental, preserving your own sanity is more important, because your natural acumen in like building a system that will allow you to experience success and progress is going to happen again. That skill is kept. The only thing is, the only difficult passage is contending with competition and competing in a way that doesn't really suit your natural characteristic. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. I hope that makes sense to you, and if it did, please leave a comment and a like down below. Anything, like I said before, I'm a new channel, so any sort of support, like emotional support, is greatly appreciated. Okay, so I hope to see you again. Bye.